My name is Sinead Stubbins. I'm the least famous person here, and I'm here to talk about crushes. A world-weary philosopher once said about the object of his affections, "She's so beautiful that when you look at her, your knees tremble, your heart melts, and you know without reservation that there is order and meaning to the universe." Later confessing that he didn't even need this adoration returned, saying the simple act of being in love with you is enough for me. Pacey Witter from Dawson's Creek was my first fictional crush. Pacey is a character who is bad at school, wears bowling shirts, and lost his virginity by having sex with his English teacher against a tree. You can see the appeal. According to Dawson'sCreekFandom.com, it's a real website, he uses humour and sarcasm to relate to people, as well as to hide his emotional pain stemming from his very unhappy childhood. Fucking sign me up. I wasn't allowed to watch Dawson's Creek because my mum thought it was inappropriate, although watching 90210 and the Martin Short Show was apparently totally fine. Later I found out that inappropriate was just my mum's code for, this is super boring and I can't be bothered watching it. And it did come as a surprise to me years later that no, there was not any overtly sexual content in Sabrina the Teenage Witch after all. As a preteen, I just knew that Dawson's Creek was something I needed to be involved with. I bought the soundtrack on cassette and tried to imagine what was happening with these sexy, eloquent teens. I obsessively pored over articles and TV hits detailing the storylines. I put posters on my wall, only rotating them once when my little sister became convinced that a picture of Katie Holmes was following her around the room with her eyes. I also spent a lot of time thinking about Pacey. Even as a particularly immature preteen, I knew there was something about Pacey. He planted a seed in my brain that said it was possible, in fact probable, that I would have a roguishly handsome best friend with puppy dog eyes and spiky hair, who I'd never really thought about in that way because I was really busy being chased by other boys. And also because maybe my hair would just sort of fall in my eyes a lot, obscuring what an actually good face he really did have. Who had loved me all along, and that in the spaces of our verbal sparring, he actually thought I was the best thing to have happened to this planet Earth. Heterosexuals are the worst, aren't we? Pacey would be the one who'd been waiting in the wings, loving me all along, like he had with Dawson's Creek's perpetually frowny and lusted over heroine Joey Potter. The longing was a big part of this for me. His longing, not mine. Then I would finally flick the hair out of my eyes long enough to see that this boy who loved me actually had a cute face, and it would feel fantastic, like taking ecstasy, a drug I have never taken before because it is illegal. A fictional crush really is the best kind of crush. A fictional crush can never not reply to your texts. They don't have phones or hands. They can never decide they prefer your more attractive friend who has nice teeth. They don't know your friend. She's not part of this. They will never ever pressure you into having sex. They don't have stuff. Pacey was an attractive prospect for several reasons. He defends his friend Jack in the face of a homophobic teacher. He recognises when Joey wears her dead mother's bracelet to the prom. He built a boat and then named that boat True Love, which should be pathetic and creepy, but somehow isn't because Dawson seems to soak up and monopolise all the pathetic and creepiness possible in the universe. He buys Joey a wall, and no, I will not explain that to you. Because if you don't know how important it is to buy a woman a wall, I'm sorry, good luck being alone forever, you heartless disaster. Pacey had a certain ease about him. He always knew the cool or funny thing to say in a situation. He was a very sexual being, but respectfully so. I guess. Joey and Pacey spent a summer on a boat together in which Pacey read The Little Mermaid to Joey instead of pressuring her to have teen sex. He wasn't entitled like my later TV crush from the OC, incel in the making, Seth Cohen. Originally, he wasn't even meant to be the romantic lead on the show. It was only when the showrunner Kevin Williamson left that the writers went rogue. Dawson's Creek really promoted non-sexual soulmates. Jen and Jack were soulmates, but it wasn't really sexual because they both preferred the sexual company of men. Joey and Dawson were soulmates, but it wasn't really sexual because you can't have sex with a wet twisty. Any Dawson heads in the house? No? Okay. But Joey and Pacey had an electric chemistry. You knew it was on. And everyone would be consenting. Oh, baby. Pacey's gentle nature was attractive, but it was the funny thing that got me. Pacey ignited my crush for the funny guy. Wait, you can understand my witty reference and follow it with another witty reference? You're my crush. Make me laugh once? Fantastic. Here are all my belongings and the deed to at least one of my kidneys. Kidneys come and go, but love is forever. Once I've given you all my money and credit cards and electronics and am forced to quit my writing career because instead of a laptop, I'm trying to work off a laptop that's actually a rock with letters painted on it because I gave my laptop to you, then you will be mine. It's at this point that I need to make a confession. Pacey, the funny guy, may have been my first lustful crush, but there was one before. One that is pre-sexuality, back when I didn't really understand what a crush was. And that person is Alan Alda, playing Benjamin Franklin Hawkeye Pierce in the seminal 1970s comedy series MASH. Yeah, Hawkeye heads. Hawkeye, like Pacey, was a lovable rogue who made plenty of jokes and plenty of noble sacrifices, but unlike Pacey, also spent a lot of time sexually harassing his colleagues. Something that happened in workplaces in the 1970s and then hasn't happened once since. There are many parallels between the two crushes, except one is obvious and the other one means that I probably require more therapy. My love for Hawkeye was more of an admiration than a crush, really. I liked him in a way that I didn't fully understand, like praying and hoping that I would get a Furby, but then not really knowing what to do with it once I got it. It was a milquetoast attraction, as sexless as John Farnham's 1988 song Two Strong Hearts, and as comforting as John Farnham's 1988 song Two Strong Hearts. I think really I just wanted to be like him, bold and brave, charming and warm. Pacey and Hawkeye may have made me predisposed to funny men, but luckily for me, there aren't that many funny men out there. Thank God for that. Thank you.
Visit wheelercentre.com for the best in books, writing and ideas from Melbourne, Australia and the world.